Hello everyone and welcome back to maxdmcrafting. I'm working at full capacity on the Warhammer Fortress project, guys. This phase of the project can be very treacherous as the work risks becoming very repetitive, killing inspiration without mercy. For this reason, I try to implement the processing techniques, shortening the working time on the one hand and making the work more interesting and fresh on the other. This technique is the same one I used to create the molds of the walls in the Keeps video. You can see that I start from 4 wall segments of the same size as my first tower and placing them side by side, I go to engrave the pattern of small bricks. Once I have the corresponding lines on each piece of XPS foam, I proceed to alternately eliminate half bricks on each side. The thickness removed exactly matches the thickness of my XPS foam slices. In this way, once the 4 walls are completed, they can be combined to obtain perfect corner joints. In the case of modular terrain, this system allows you to create countless combinations. In our case, however, we have to fix the tower. First I proceed with the embellishments like statues, windows and buttresses. We are finally ready to complete the tower structure. To strengthen everything, I'm going to insert square pieces of XPS foam at the base and halfway up. It is extremely satisfying how these pieces fit together. Once this phase is over, it's time for the Matriculations. As you have seen previously, I have designed a template that allows me to create beautiful Matriculations in a short time. However, I have not been perfectly honest with you guys. This template allows a very accurate cut if used horizontally. If used vertically, on the other hand, it requires a certain mastery of use. Otherwise, in 50% of cases, pieces are produced rather roughly, cut at an angle, as you can see here. I therefore adopted a small trick that allowed me to stabilize the template vertically. I added two L-shaped runners, obtaining them from MDF sprues. And voila, the result has been speeded up and improved. Finally, we can put the rest of the pieces together. These Matriculations are partly made of XPS foam and partly cloned. Check the video on the keep for more details. I added a pavement and the battlements of the walls, as for the first tower. This whole process was repeated with some small variations for all the 4 towers. I also completed some wall segments with the same technique used for the blacksmith shop. Take a look at that video. Now, what is inspiration? It is something we have within us, or not. It is a condition of the soul, it is a state of grace, I don't know. I just know that sometimes it is not necessary for me to have it before starting to build. This is the case of this main gate, born from some leftovers that I knew would come in handy someday, maybe, perhaps. Well, the day has come. I started carving these arches without a precise idea. Then I found larger, concentric arches and I thought, Why not? Everything started to flow faster, and then the idea became reality. There is still a long way to go to complete this fortress, guys, and I'm sure I'll find you all here in the next episode. Till then, happy crafting!